Hello, my dear viewers. In general, today we have a review of the ACI Steam Van 753rd series. Here is the specific model number MS2296. In general, today we will upgrade it a little bit, that is, we will put an SSD instead of a hard disk. Let's add RAM and see what it will be like. Here, accordingly, we will completely disassemble it. Let's see, we will do an additional comprehensive cleaning, that is, we will remove the dust and replace the thermal paste accordingly. That's the kind of apparatus we have. Here we turn over, disassemble, disconnect the battery. Remove the back cover. Under it, we just have RAM and a hard disk. So, unscrew the bolts, remove the memory we have on board 2 GB, so accordingly you can leave these 2 plus add 2 here. Our memory is DITR 3, 1 and 5 volts, the voltage is 1333 MHz. Here we look at the hard drive, we remove the hard drive from our brand of Seagate for 250 GB. Here, accordingly, instead of a hard disk, we will put an SSD here. Here we're 2 plus 2 add and we get 4 GB of RAM. Next, let's take it completely apart. Accordingly, let's see what we have inside. I think that after we put the SSD disk here, this netbook will turn into a good workhorse. We're sorting it out. Unscrew all the bolts so, here we have another bolt. So we look, we see if we will unscrew everything. So now let's unscrew the Wi-Fi module and click off the whole thing carefully. And we take it out. Turn it over. So. Take a spatula and unfasten the keyboard. We do everything as carefully as possible so as not to break anything and not to damage anything. Here's the keyboard we unfastened. Now we unscrew the bolts here, unscrew it so we unscrew everything, we unfasten the loops, now we will open it. We take a plastic card and carefully open all this case. Something's bothering us, yeah. That's just here, another bolt is hidden. We unscrew it well, we took everything off. There's nothing interesting here. Here is our motherboard. We see that there is a lot of dust in the cooler. So, accordingly, now we will take it all off, carefully disassemble and clean it accordingly, change the thermal paste. We disconnect all the loops that we have from the board. We do everything as carefully as possible so as not to damage anything, so, in principle, it cannot be disconnected. And we connect here. So, in principle, they disconnected everything. So, everything was disconnected, in principle, what we need to disconnect, and now we will get it out of the case. Unscrew the bolts that attach it to the body. We have one bolt right here. So we look further. We look further. Very, very carefully here we disassemble it, because you can break it here of a non-standard version. Here we got the motherboard, that's how it looks like. Here is the actual cooler, the chip, that is, the processor chip. Accordingly, now we are removing the whole thing here and disconnecting it. We are looking at thermal paste. Yes, we have it all dry. This is the way we came to a complete disassembly of this netbook. Here, accordingly, we will clean everything from dust, change the thermal paste. So the thermal paste was changed, the dust was removed, the netbook was folded in reverse order. I think there should be no questions. Nothing complicated, the main neatness as usual as always. Here, instead of a hard disk, they put an SSD, added 2 GB of RAM from Kingston 1 and 5 volts 1333 MHz. So we got 4 GB of shared memory. I put Windows 8.1 here. It works great, considering that this is the 2010th year of release of the netbook. In general, everything works well, no breaks, and so on and so forth. So try it, do it, you will succeed. Have a good day, goodbye. Subscribe to my channel.